of the better known definitions of influence comes from John Maxwell, who states that the true measure of leadership is influence. Many of us have met people whose one sentence in a meeting can shift the direction of the meeting. But we've also met people who talk, and hardly anyone agrees with what they're saying. The first, who with one sentence shifts a meeting, can be said to be a person who has significant influence, while the other, the talker, will be judged to have less influence. Sociologists have discovered that even the most introverted individual will influence 10,000 other people during his or her lifetime. 10,000. Nicky Gumbel, one of my favorite speakers whom I've mentioned earlier, he says that history is in many ways a story of influence. We all influence one another in all sorts of ways, from what to have for lunch, what films to watch, to more important matters of truth and ethics. As the African proverbs puts it, if you think you're too small to make a difference, you haven't spent the night with the mosquito. The mosquito makes a difference in a very annoying way, but the principle is the same. He goes on to say, one person can stop a great injustice. One person can be a voice for truth. One person's kindness can save a life. Each person matters. I really like what Nicky has to say because it highlights the importance and the power of influence. In this lesson, I would like to push beyond the usual and explore the kind of influence that transforms the culture of a sphere, the culture of a community, or even a nation. The kind of influence reformers need to seek so that their lives have meaningful impact. I assume this is why you signed on to this course. You want to get better at what you're doing. You want to infuse into your life the extra in the extraordinary. You want to infuse the super into the supernatural. It takes influence to shift cultures. The ability to change what people believe, what they think and how they think. The ability to change how they behave and how they do things. It takes a special quality. My second daughter loves superheroes, even though she is, I won't tell you her age, but she's much older than 25. Personally, I don't understand the love she has for them, but I'm beginning to see in her the desire to do more than she can naturally do. I see the desire for the extraordinary burning within her. And right now, what I desperately want to see is an army of young people arising and burning ferociously for an extraordinary life. An army of young people who believe they can walk on water, who believe they can change their world, who believe that absolutely nothing is impossible. I'm looking at raising an army of young people who believe that their combined effort can turn their nation around and lead to the emergence of a first world Africa, and even in many countries in South America, first world South America. If you believe, then get up and begin to do what it takes to get influence. You can be the best in class, but end up doing very little if you don't apply your best to influence change and birth transformation. So it is time to get up. It is time to rise up. Where do you start? You start by knowing who you are, and after that, knowing your message. Own your message. Then identify your gifts. And fourthly, understand timing. You need to learn how to recognize the timing of opportunities, and you need to learn how to grab them when they come. The mini course that I did dealt with knowing your identity, how important it is to know who you are, and the fact that this is where you should start. So I won't repeat some of the things I said then. Right now, I'm going to focus on knowing your sphere of influence, your mountain, your sphere of impact. For society to change, there's said to be 7 walls of society, 7 mountains that need repair. We need transformational leaders to arise and take responsibility for this repair. There are 3 authors, Lauren Cunningham, Bill Wright, and Johnny Enlow, and they name these walls. They named them 7 mountains, they named them 7 molders of culture. And these 7 mountains or 7 molders are media, education, government, economy or business, the celebration of arts, that's arts and entertainment, religion and family. If you have influence, you can shape what happens on these mountains in your nation. These mind molders frame the mindsets of the 21st century, the way people think, their beliefs, and their values. Those who are able to wield influence are able to change the narratives of these mind molders. So I ask you, which broken wall are you repairing? Which mountain are you taking responsibility for? Which mind molder are you crafting a new narrative for? So it's important to know your mountain, know your sphere of impact. And I want to give you an assignment now. Write in your journal what you think your sphere of impact or your mountain is. Note it and document it. So now, after identifying your mountain and your sphere of impact, it's important that you know your message. Know your message and proclaim it with passion and intentionality. Articulate your message in your own words. Be authentic. Being authentic is now, again, one of those buzzwords used by business school gurus. But you know what? It's actually an important quality. One of those important qualities that good leaders must learn to embrace. Be real. Be genuine. Be an original. Don't be a copy. Be true and accurate. Be your true you. Many of us understand the importance of words. Words are powerful. They create. The spoken word releases an energy that transforms atmospheres. With words, you can create the atmosphere of love, of anger, of hatred, or of compassion. With words, you can effect change in behaviors and change in actions. Words are powerful. With words, you can shape the character of individuals. You can build that individual or you can destroy that individual. Words carry an innate power that explodes on impact, the power of words. And with words, you can build physical structures. You have the power to build what I describe as an edifice. An edifice is a building that is large and imposing in appearance. And with words, you can build an edifice. With the right words, the building of your organization, of you as an individual, you can look solid, you can look imposing. Your organization can look super attractive and irresistible. And you know what? With that, you can attract the resources that you require, the human and financial resources, all with crafting beautiful, magnificent words. And this is why, as a reformer, your use of words must be deliberate, it must be intentional and full of wisdom. It's a wisdom that catches people's attention. It's not the usual wisdom. It's a gift of wisdom that you need to seek. As a reformer, you must not take vision statements and written plans for granted. Do not write them as mere words. They have creative powers and they have the ability to build your future and create a pathway to significance. They can redefine your destiny and guide you to purpose. Your words can explode on a page. They can release rain when the refreshing is needed. Words recreate worlds. Richard Branson and the Virgin Group have mastered the use of words and media to create an identity and customer experiences that is unique. People are willing to pay for Richard Branson's unique selling proposition, which is Virgin. This is a brand that catered to the hip Generation X who wanted something different. The play on words that Virgin uses, all their adverts have something around the word virgin, guarantees that you never forget their adverts. Mark Merkler of The Ruthless Entrepreneur, he wrote The Ruthless Entrepreneur. He states, if you can define your vision, if you can define your goals and clearly define what it is that you do, that is your message, and how you do it, why you do it, the world will become your oyster. The authentic you has a message to proclaim. So don't try to be anyone else. Be the real you. So the assignment I have for you now is, in your journal, identify and define your message. What is your message? Think about it. Spend time just thinking deeply and identifying what that message is. To help you with your assignment, I'm going to talk about a reformer in action, one of the most authentic people that I know. Her name is Christine Caine, and she's the author of Undaunted, Unstoppable, and recently she wrote a third book, Unashamed. Christine is also an outstanding speaker and the co-founder of A21, a global organization she and her husband set up in 2008. The A21 campaign is dedicated to addressing the injustice of human trafficking in the 21st century. A21's comprehensive approach includes awareness, preventing future trafficking, taking legal action, and offering support services to survivors. Christine, with her spoken and written words, is declaring a loud message that says a resounding no to human trafficking and 21st century slavery. She is known for her ability to communicate very clearly, profound messages of hope, profound messages of inspiration and freedom. She is her authentic self. She understands her message, and that's why I want you to now think about what your message is and to document it. The next step to enhancing your influence is understanding the times. Great influencers know the power of timing. They do the right thing in the right season at the right time. For example, no one in their right mind will come out on a blustery, bitterly cold winter morning in their swimming suit. Neither would you wear a furry winter coat on a hot summer day with beautiful blue skies. We dress for the season. Likewise, as someone who seeks to understand the seasons and the times as a reformer, you need to learn to discern the change in the seasons of your life as you live through time. You learn to be sensitive. You learn to adjust your behavior. You learn what to do at the right time. When you get timing right, you are always better prepared. Understanding timing is one of the marks of a great and effective reformer, and that is why we cannot but appreciate the gay movement and the progress they have made in influencing the culture of today and the thinking of people. A minority group with careful planning and an understanding of timing has used media to affect cultures and create change. What was not permissible in one generation is not permissible. Amongst other factors, they understand the times. Sunday Adelaja has a wonderful quote. He says, "A man without the discernment of time is walking in the dark." So far, we've discussed ways of enhancing your influence by knowing who you are, by knowing your gifts and your message, and knowing what to do at the appropriate time. Now, we'll examine the qualities of influence. Influence has two qualities. It has a sound and it has purpose. These qualities can be amplified and enhanced by the actions that you take. So let's look at the first, the sound of influence. What does the sound of influence sound like? It's bold, it's fearless, and it is courageous. In the mini course, I describe reformers as sound shapers. In the 21st century, the sound of influence can be magnified by social media. Therefore, the quality of your message and the sound it carries is important. It is not the noise that you make. Hear me, it's not the noise you make. Social media has become a platform where you can use words to distinguish yourself. Not empty words, but words full of wisdom and purpose. Words that create a following and give you influence. You have the opportunity to shape thoughts and actions. Dr. Obia Sekwesili, a reformer in action who we mentioned earlier, has great influence on Twitter. Her profile describes her as a fiercely passionate believer in the public good of nations, serving before leading, validated by God and my dad, who taught me to never dignify nonsense. Do you give of your time and your energy to make a difference? Or are you just a watcher? Do you just watch other people doing things rather than a doer? And as you think about this and you try to answer these questions, I want to encourage you to think about 3 action steps that you can take to increase your influence quotient. From all the things that you've learned, what 3 action steps can you take immediately to enhance your power to influence? Thank you.